Hey guys, in this video we'll be continuing with the Python video series. Today we'll be going over modification string methods. So we'll just do some example problems, and a description. So all those strings are immutable, meaning they cannot be modified. They do have a number of methods that return modified versions of themselves, so it's kind of a tricky concept, but you don't really have to worry about it. Just use the strings, don't really need to focus on if it's modifiable or not. It's not really important. It's just a theory. So the method description will have, the first one is lower. So it returns a copy of the string. So just remember that these modification methods are actually copies of the string. They're not actual, they're not immutable. They're not like a mutated string. So the copy of the string with all alphabetical letters converted to lowercase, that's what lower returns. Any character that is already lowercase or is not an alphabetical letter is unchanged, so a number or a already lowercase letter is not changed. So this one we've used before, else strip returns a copy of the string with all leading white space characters removed. So you can strip the new lines, the tabs, the spaces, carriage returns, stuff like that. So the next one, the char argument, so it's basically, it's a function. Actually, sorry, this is a parameter in the else strip method. So the char argument is a string containing a character, returns a copy of the, so you can have an else strip. So this is maybe, what's the word? What's the word when, I think it's overloaded. I'm not sure if that's, I don't think that's a Python term. That means they have the same function with different parameters. For example, one function has one parameter, the same function can either take one parameter, two parameters, three parameters, four parameters, no parameters, or like any amount of parameters. So perhaps it's an overloaded version of the function. So that means in this case it could take a char parameter, which is a string containing a character, returns a copy of the else strip char string with all instances of char that appear at the beginning of the string removed. So it's a little bit tricky, but that's the definition. If you need to look that up on the docs, you can look it up. Again, just search for else strip with, in parentheses, you can put char. You can type in Python docs on Google, that whole thing on Google, and find it. So there is L strip and R strip. So they're a little bit different. So it's a similar but different method. One removes at the beginning, one removes at the end, kind of tricky. So you can check it out if you want. The char argument is a string containing a character. The method returns a copy of the string with all instances of the char that appear at the end of the string removed. We did this before. Okay, so you can pick what you want to be removed. We've done this, remember we did R strip or L strip, the new line as the parameter. So you can strip what you want. I think it's kind of a tricky definition. You can strip what you want. Strip meaning you can remove, you can take out, for example, a new line as we've done before. So strip returns a copy of the string with all leading and trailing. So there's different strips that you can do. You can strip different things. So we've used it before. So upper returns a copy of the string with all, so it's the opposite of lower, which we already discussed. Basically, returns a copy of the string with all alphabetical letters converted to uppercase. Any character that is already uppercase or is not an alphabetical character is unchanged. So let's do an example here. So we can have letters, or no, sorry, not letters. We can have maybe like str. We can just say str1 points to. Actually, we'll just go with user str points to wth. Then we'll have print. So we'll print. So here we can print user str, comma, and then we can pass. So we can then say user str dot lower. So we can convert this to lower, save it and run it. So that's just an example of the modification method. So it prints our user str wth in uppercase, comma, space, and then user str dot lower, which prints it in lowercase, so upper would do the same thing. But since, again, it's unchanged, since it's all uppercase, it'll probably just print the same thing twice. The wth, pretty much just the same thing twice because all of it was uppercase already. So as the description said, it's going to just return unchanged. Alright, let's see what else we have here. So we have we can use this upper and lower for case, insensitive, and sensitive stuff. So we can have an example here. We can have user str again points to lowercase y. You can say while again, sorry, not again, while user str dot lower is equal to y, lowercase y. And we can print something, message to user, whatever. Then we have another print. Do you want to repeat, or do you want to do that again? Whatever. Do you want to do that again? Question mark. So we can have again, sorry, not again. User str points to the input function. So we can have just like this. Basically yes or no. So what's the point of this example here? Skip the description in my example. So we have just a lowercase y pointing to a user string, so it's going to check while user string dot lower. Okay, so in this case we want to always make sure that the user str is in a lowercase form. So let's just say the user string let's say the user string, okay, so the point is when we loop back down here, and let's just say that the user typed in uppercase Y. Well, it's going to automatically change that Y to a lowercase y, just because that's the logic of the code. Of course, we've done this before. We've said while user string, pretend the lower is gone, is equal to y, or user str is equal to uppercase Y. So you can do either one of those, right? You've seen that before in multiple languages if you're watching all the tutorials. So that's just another way to do it. Is that what we had initially? While user str dot lower is equal to lowercase y. So that makes sure every time the user enters the user str choice, whatever, or the user str, the user choice, whatever the user enters, it's going to make sure that it's what happened here? Why didn't this run? Okay, so we're supposed to have again points, sorry, not again, user str points to y, while again dot. Yeah, there's 5 lines there. What happened with this? Okay, I think that's missing. Didn't actually tell me the Python interpreter didn't catch that, which is interesting. That can cause a lot of problems, because as you can see, we had a syntax error. It was missing parentheses, but the Python interpreter didn't catch it. So I'm seeing that as a problem. If you have like tens of thousands of different lines of code, and you're looking for one small error like that, that's pretty crazy that it couldn't find that. So I've never seen that before actually. Unless I don't think that's a pycharm thing. Just a pycharm thing. I think that's actually a Python thing. Once again, let me just check that out. So I ran that. It's not telling me there's an error there. I don't know if you can see that. Is it telling me there's an error? No, it just said exit code 0, which means there's no error. Dot lower. What's the warning? Line 2. It just says missing white space. Let's see, I remove that. Yeah, it's not even coming up as a warning, which is pretty interesting, because that could have caused a lot of problems. You could have been looking at that error for like weeks or months if you had a huge file. Like you had a huge app, let's say you had like 100,000 lines of code, and you just had that one line, and nothing was coming up. You would have had to scan that thing for like weeks or months just to find it, and you finally found it, and if that was it, that would have been really hard. So that's I think writing a huge project in Python could be troublesome. You could test the same thing out in another interpreter to see, but in another IDE. But if it's just a Python interpreter, then that should just be built in to this IDE. So I think it is just a Python thing. So that's interesting. So anyway, so let's just see. Let's just try this again. So we have basically, this should have said enter. So let's put an enter there. So message to user, do you want to do that again? Enter. Yes or no. So let's just say we enter capital Y. Do you want to do this again? N. So we entered capital Y the first time. So the loop repeated, obviously. We've gone over this before in previous tutorials on loops. So then the first time user str was equal to y. In that case, the loop was repeated. When it got back down here to check the user str, or to reset user str, this time we hit n. This time it checked if it was equal to y, which it wasn't, so the loop was skipped. So that's the example code. Let's see what else we have here. So you can do the exact same thing with upper, of course. We'll probably just skip that because this is the exact opposite thing. Okay, so we'll end it there just because we're moving on to another topic. So that was string modification methods. In the next video, we'll be working on searching and replacing methods, or just searching. We'll just do some searching and replacing string examples. So thanks for watching. If you guys liked the video, you can like the channel. You can like the video, subscribe to the channel for more programming and investing tutorials. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.